Pretty good, you?
Not too bad. How are you?
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad.
Hello, Gigi.
Hey.
I'm good, how are you?
I'm well. So tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Demolka. I'm from Miramichi, but originally from Sri Lanka.
Jiwon. I'm originally from Korea.
My name is Simo Qureshi, and I'm from Newfoundland.
Yumi, and I'm from Japan.
Ubogu Kalu, and I am from Nigeria.
My name is Shidachi Shijiodin Madani, but most people call me Gigi. I'm from Zimbabwe, Africa.
Hilary, and I'm from Vietnam.
Monza, and I'm from St. John, New Brunswick.
So my name is Marcus Lees. I'm from Toronto, Ontario.
Oscar, and I'm from Honduras.
What ethnicity do you identify with?
I'm black and African.
Latino.
I identify with Southeast Asian, as a Southeast Asian, and Filipino.
So for me, it's Guyanese. My mom is from Guyana. My father is adopted, so we don't really know where the biological background comes from. So I identify with being a Caribbean Guyanese.
Asian.
I am black.
I'd say, personally, I identify with the human race. I like to say that a lot. I am African, always have been, always will be. But yeah, I identify with the human race.
Well, I'm brown. My dad's from Pakistan, so I'd say South Asian.
How do you define the word stereotype?
It's categorizing a lot of people into a single one just because where they are, where they come from.
Stereotyping someone means the whole belief of overgeneralizing, and which is mostly based on race or sex, and stereotype doesn't necessarily mean bad or negative all the time, but it doesn't describe the whole ethnicity based on just one characteristic or just a few characteristics.
Stereotype is you put a group of people according to the race, just things you think they do because where they come from or what they look like.
Well, I feel like a lot of times it's easier to assume something about someone than to, talk to them.
I think it is because when people are not really familiar with other groups of people, they would want to kind of put them into categories.
I think a stereotype is when somebody assumes something about me or my character based on the color of my skin or where I come from.
I define the word stereotype as having a preconceived notion of someone and just assuming all these things about them without even getting to know the person themselves.
So we have a board and a marker, and we want you to write what comes to your mind when you think of the word stereotype. So, do you have any racist or stereotype experiences you've encountered that you'd like to share?
Back in middle school, when I first came to Canada, you'd always pack your lunch, and I'd always pack something like curry with rice. And I'd sit at the back of the classroom because I didn't want to get ridiculed by students coming in and saying, ew, what's that? It's, you know, it's uncomfortable to you. It just feels bad.
Just in general, like it's like the little things. You go to a grocery store and you just be browsing the aisles and people will move their purses away from you. And just when you walk into a room, you immediately see people's eyes like look away from you. And you just know that they're judging you based on how you look. Yeah.
So whenever someone sees a brown person, they're like, oh my God, it's terrorists, like hide your children, run away. I mean, I can't say certain words in airports, always stop at airport security. So no, that stereotype definitely does not reflect who I am.
They'll say things like, you know, go back to China or something like that, but they don't know that I am from here. There's nowhere to go back to.
Waiting in line, like, you know, someone would comment from the back, hurry up, Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan. And they meant it as like a funny way, but like that puts you in a really bad situation. Like you don't know how to respond, you just want to go home, like, you know.
And how do these experiences make you feel?
It makes me feel like I don't belong.
But when you get older, you kind of become more accustomed to it, which is kind of sad.
Basically, it makes me feel like I'm literally not equal with others. I'm not treated the same way as others. Anything that people think of, any way people think of white people, it's not the same way they see me at all.
I think the thing that gets to me is when someone really feels like, when people try to put you in that box and they feel like you should not have an English name. You know, this is not the way things were meant to be. You know, like, you know, so when someone insists that you just shouldn't have one, then it really comes off as sad. And you know, like I'm like, I wouldn't do that to you, so why try to put me in a box? You know, like
It's only what they've been told and what they've seen. They haven't really experienced. So I use that as an opportunity to educate them about how the world really is.
At first, I was really furious. I was like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? But then again, I just realized everyone learned, they're ignorant.
As they go on, you just kind of, you know, you develop a thick skin for them, and you kind of shake them off. So, yeah, now you kind of laugh at them, but.
Most of the time, I felt a little bit offended and isolated at the same time. Like, I feel like, you know, like people should be more open-minded and people should educate themselves more about that.
They make you feel less of who you actually are. They make you, they kind of put something onto your individuality. And I think in a way it changes your behavior, and sometimes you may think you have to act a certain way. So I feel like those experiences can impact an individual going forward in his life. And I think it's pretty bad. It's hard to adjust after what's been done for some people.
They make me feel unwelcome, like I'm not accepted, because like, you know, they don't even bother getting to know me. They just, okay, they want to slap on a label to me, and that's what they want to go with.
Really sad, mostly because I know that I can handle a lot of the things that comes my way. Like if I go to Walmart and somebody asks me if I'm a true Canadian or if I'm an immigrant, then I know that I can shake it off and I can take it, but there are lots of people who can't. And then it upsets me because when things like that happen, I just know that it could have been somebody else in my shoes and it could have really, really affected them or hurt them or made them feel unwelcome. I hate thinking that my parents could go places and be treated like that, so it really is hurtful.
Right. So we've come to a conclusion that stereotyping is more or less like generalization. We want you to erase what you just wrote and write who Mansa is on that board.
Okay. This is me.
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 How can our community decrease stereotype and racism in general?
To understand someone else, you have to put your heart and your mind to it. It's not simply looking at one and going by what you see or what you feel. You know, like you have to take the time to understand people.
Well, I think one of the best things we can do as a community is realize that, you know, everyone is different. Like, you know, don't treat people like a collective. Treat them like an individual. Everyone has the right to prove himself or not.
Maybe just approaching to the people, ask them where they come from. Just get to know them, how they actually are, not only because where they come from, but get to know the person per se. So I think that will help a lot.
I think you just gotta show more love. You know, you just gotta, you know, love everyone you meet on the streets. And every new person you meet, you just show them a lot of love and a lot of respect. Just don't assume anything about them. And once you get to know them, once you get to know everyone the same amount, and just you know, go in with an open mind and a blank canvas, and just to get to know people and get to know what they're about.
I feel like it'd be amazing if we all can, you know, like we all can change this. And I'm glad that you guys actually decide to do this project every year so that we raise awareness.
Please ask questions. I think it is really important for people to ask questions if they have some sort of aspect about me or about my race or my ethnicity that they are curious about. I think just asking a question and saying, you know, where are you from? What language do you speak over there? And questions that just have to do with my culture that'll satisfy their curiosity, and then it'll help them be more informed the next time that they meet another person like me.
I think you should get to know the person first before judging them or before putting them into categories. So try to talk to them first. Where are they from? Where do they come from? What have they been through?
I think people need to ask questions. People need to make an effort to learn more about people rather than just quickly assuming.
Once you step out of your comfort zone and be brave and start talking to other people and throw all your stereotypes and prejudice out the window, you're gonna realize how much bigger the world is, and you're gonna realize that there's so much more that you could learn and there's so much more that you could discover.
I would say like human beings are really complex creatures, right? Like there's so many things that go into making one's personality. So anything short of an in-depth understanding simply won't do.
All right, so do you have any other thing that maybe you would have wanted to add or something?
Yes. I like chicken and watermelon, but not because I'm black or because I'm African, because I like chicken. Chicken is awesome.
Great. Awesome. That's great. That's awesome.